Welcome to the channel, everybody. This is Each One Reach One. I pray and I hope that I can teach and reach one of you, at least one of you, with this lesson. Lord willing, of course. I thank you guys for joining me today. Wherever you are, whatever is going on with you, I pray that you are doing well and I pray that you are blessed. And if you are not, I pray that things get better for you if you are the faithful in Yahawashi, right? If you are one of the believing and the commandment keeping and righteous observers of the book. When I mean observer of the book, meaning the entire book, all of it, all of it. You need to know it in its totality in order to get it. All right. Now, for all of you who are thirsting after righteousness, we are here for another one. That's why we're here, because many people have a thirst that can't be quenched for the word of God, for the word of the Most High Yahawah, Bahashem Yahawashi. And because you thirst that way, it shows the proof that you belong to him, because everyone doesn't thirst after this word the way you do. Everyone is not keeping their minds stayed on the promises and the things that are to come. Not everyone are watchmen. They're not looking for the signs and the wonders and the fulfillment of prophecies and scriptures because they have no care for it. And that's by the Most High, because faith is is given by the Most High, right? We're planted with the seed of faith in us. All right. We are given, the spirit to chase after him and to look for him. All of us in due season, of course, not everyone at the same time. So for many people, it just might not have been their time yet, but their time is coming. That's why you got to share these videos. You got to look and observe opportunities where you might be able to throw someone a life preserver and pull them out of the fire, or pull them out of the the rough waters, the choppy waters that are going to drown them. All right. So let us give all praise, honor, and glory to the heavenly highest, to our Father, Yahawah, and our beloved King, Yahawashi, who is also our Savior and our Redeemer, who is the hand and the arm and the strength of our Father. All right. Now we know America is Babylon, and all of these other nations connected to them, all of these nations that they have power over, they are considered Babylon as well, because anywhere, a ruler has power, that is his kingdom, that is his province, right? The same way, King James had the United Kingdom because he ruled over multiple countries, multiple territories. And so under him, they became known collectively as the United Kingdom. Well, there is a united Babylon that consists of more than just America. And so they're all going to go down with America. All right. And if you love this place, you are a Babylonian. You are a Chaldean, and you are going to go down with this place. If you are out here trying to elect a king, a ruler over you who is not of your people, who is not your power, Yahawah, Bahashem Yahawashi, you are of this world and you are not of the Most High. If you just voted in the elections, if you try to pick one of these two demons to rule over you, you've made the same mistake that the Israelites did once upon a time in wanting a king to rule over them, that caused the Most High to give them a wicked ruler, Saul, to rule over them. And they paid for their desire to have a man rule over them and not our power to rule over us and to be our king. We have a king, Israel. You better trust in the king. You better look to the king. Divorce yourself of these politics. Divorce yourself of having to choose the lesser of two evils. Don't be wrapped up and all swept away in the fear mongering and everything that's going on in this world regarding the politics and the elections. These things must needs be. You can't forget the fact that the heart, the mind of the kings, of the rulers, are in the hands of the Most High, and he turns them whithersoever he will. You're not supposed to be living in fear. You're supposed to be remembering who's responsible for everything taking place. And as long as you are right with him, it doesn't matter who's in power. Their wickedness, their wicked character, whoever they are, whatever their agendas are not going to negatively affect you. That's why you're supposed to seek ye first the kingdom of the Most High, and everything that you need, everything that you want, all your, your hope, that you did, the things that you hope for, the righteous things that you hope for will be given unto you if you seek him first. It's not going to come from these people. Men are not going to redeem you. They're not going to get you out of trouble. They're not going to get you out of danger. They're not going to give you reparations, because he promised you reparations. He promised to repair and to restore you, Israel. Remember where your blessings come from. Remember where your bread is buttered. All right. So, I want to get into this, reminding everyone what's coming for this place while you are trying to tether yourself to this place instead of severing yourself from this place, severing your ties, because many people forget. And because on my channel, I don't do a lot of talking about the doom and gloom. Why? Because there are many brothers out here doing it. All right. And we are all a team. We're all members of a body, and not all the members need to be doing the same thing. If everybody is trying to act as the feet, who's the hands and the eyes and the shoulders and the stomach and, the intestines and this part and that part, we are all supposed to be doing different things in the body that completes the body and benefits the entire body. So because there are so many brothers who are already doing that, this is my lane. This is what the Most High has given me, put it on my spirit to do, which is to encourage and to teach. All right. So I teach and I try to encourage. All right. But sometimes, folks need a reminder. And so I'm going to give you a reminder about what is coming. There is doom and gloom coming to this world. But if you are in Yahawah and Yahawashi, these things shall not come nigh thee. These things are not going to befall you. So don't be panicking. Don't be getting scared. Stop listening to people tell you about Agenda 2025 and all of these other things that got you panicking out here. I see people who call themselves spiritual or faithful and so forth, and they're out here scared. Scared. All right. So time to depart from Babylon, from America. Not physically, like you got to get up and move out and leave somewhere. No, but you got to disconnect. All right. Do not love this place. Revelation 18, verse 1. And after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. Everyone has had a good time. They've benefited from America being at the top of the heap. All right. They've been in cahoots. They've had relationships with America that they have benefited from. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. And in the same way, many countries, many nations have had a relationship with her, many people. All right. And many, listen, ladies, many quote unquote Black women have a love-hate relationship with this place. They have an alliance that they formed with the power structure in America. And now they're seeing the signs that their relationship ties are being severed, that their position that they once held and what looked like in the power they once held and the sway they once held, it's over. It is fallen. So they're scared. And in their fear and in their anger, they're lashing out at the brothers. All right? Because many of them, most of them, they hate the brothers anyway. And the Democratic Party emboldened the Black woman against the Black man and gave her power, lifted her up, pushed the Black man down, and lifted the Black woman up. And so they felt as if their status, right, their circumstances is tied to the Democratic Party because that's who they made a covenant with. That's who they made a pact with. All right. And so now that their party didn't win and they went so hard against the other side and they know the other side don't have any love for them, they are terrified now about what's coming. And in their terror, they are causing brothers, black men, to hate them in great numbers by their own hate that they're spewing to the brothers. Don't let what's going on in this world cause you to spew this hate and this venom to the brothers that's going to get you on the outside looking in. It's going to make the brothers back up and say you're on your own. When the calamities and everything that is to come upon Babylon, when they come, you're going to be a partaker of her sins because you are tied to this place. You are married to this place. You love this place. And you love the ways of this place. And the ways of this place are black men, aka Israelite men, on the bottom, and everyone else above them. And see, black women, they were happy with the status quo because at least they got to not be the bottom. At least, they could always say, well, black men are doing better. I mean, at least we're doing better than the black men, right? And so they've played that card, right? And what they just experienced with the election is white women standing strongly with their men. Why? Because they know that their outcomes are tied to their men. And is that as long as their men are in power, they are number 2 on the hierarchy. And they can always say, well, at least I'm not a black woman. At least I'm not a black person. At least I'm not a minority. So they voted their interest. It's only our women who don't understand what their true interest is, right? They get caught up with all of these trinkets and just being better than black men. That's all they care about because their war, their main problem, their main issue is with black men. As long as they can be better and above the black man, they feel like they're winning in life. So many of our women, our sisters, are going to come down. They're going to fall. They're going to be destroyed with this place because they have a covenant with this system. All right. But for those of you sisters who are out there listening, learning, and thirsting after righteousness, you have to do 2 things. You have to separate yourselves from those women. You have to separate yourselves from this society and from those same women, whether they be your mother, your sister, your cousin, whatever it is, whoever they are to you, you got to sever ties with them, or you're going to be a partaker of their sins. You're going to come down with them. And the second thing is you got to be vocal. Now is not the time to shut your mouth and be scared to talk. Don't be scared now. It's time to speak up against those women and to let brothers know that not all Israelite women, not all black women feel the same. Not all black women hate their guts. The brothers need to hear that because in the times to come, when black women become the most preyed on group demographic in society, the most vulnerable, and brothers don't care because there's going to be no brothers that care. So it's going to be easy for all men of all walks of life to prey on the black woman because the black woman is making sure she has no allies. This is Satan putting the Israelite woman on an island so that she can be preyed upon. Easy prey, easy pickings. You need to separate yourselves from these other women and show yourselves to be different. All right? Otherwise, you're going to be seen as all the same. All right? Verse 5, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High hath remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works. In the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double. And unfortunately for our sisters, again, they have teamed up with Babylon against their own men and have been rewarded by Babylon against their men. So they're going to be brought down with Babylon because of them becoming the enemies and a big weapon of destruction against their own men. So what's going to happen to Babylon is going to befall many sisters. This is what's coming. All right. So these things, as it says, going to happen to Babylon, this is going to happen to many Black women. They're going to share the fate of Babylon. Don't be one of them. Don't be standing next to them. Don't be caught with them or hand in hand with them when the destroyer comes, because the Most High is sending out the destroyer. The destroyer is out and about, right? Demonic activity is skyrocketing. All right. The spirits of vengeance are doing what they were created for. And this is the season for the enemies of the Most High, the enemies of his people, the enemies of his temple, the enemies of his sons. It is their time for recompense. In the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double. How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously. Same thing with our women. I'm telling you, look at the symbiotic relationship and the correlations between Babylon and the Black woman. It sounds like when it's talking about Babylon, that it's talking about the Black woman, the Israelite woman, because it partially is. It partially is. I have daughters. I don't want all Black women to be destroyed. Right? So I'm trying to give you the same advice, the same talking that I give my own daughters, the same teaching and encouragement, right? And admonishing that I give my own daughters. All right. How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen. Wow, you can't even make this up. Which women keep calling themselves queens? I'm a queen, I'm a queen, I'm a queen. And they think that they boast and they're prideful in their position above Black men. They're not above any other group of women, but they're happy just to be above Black men because their hatred of Black men is so strong, because they hate Black men the way the enemy does, right? Because women always align themselves with power. All right? They always align themselves with power. And because the Black man has no power, they align themselves with white men against their men. Because if I stick with the Black man, then I'm gonna be handled by the white man the same way they handle Black men. And I want to be treated better than Black men get treated. So I'm gonna hate you too. I got to make your enemy my enemy in order for you to see me useful and beneficial to you as an ally, so that you can give me a leg up. I sit a queen and am no widow and shall see no sorrow. And that's what they believe up until the election results. Now they are afraid, but they're not smart enough to try to get right. No, 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 no. In their fear, they are lashing out and they are creating enemies. They are ensuring their destruction. They are ensuring that their fears are going to come true. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord God who judgeth her. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. You see, and our women, they have committed fornication and lived deliciously with Babylon. They're now bewailing her. They're lamenting for her because they see the signs of what's to come. They can sense of that everything that they got accustomed to, it's over. Again, they're not smart enough to think survival and do what they need to do in order to be good in the time to come, but they do see the end coming. All right, verse 10, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth her merchandise any more. The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones of pearls and of fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and all thine wood and all manner vessels of ivory and all manner vessels of most precious wood and of brass and iron and marble. See, and our sisters are about to face the same problem, is that everything that brothers used to find valuable in them, brothers are no longer going to see any value in it. Brothers are no longer going to care about what they're selling, about what they're offering. They're not going to be seen as valuable, precious, or anything noteworthy or to care about anymore. And to continue on, it says, and cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and souls of men. And the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee, and all things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all. They shall lament for the teats, for the vintage shall fail. The old way is going to fail, and they're going to lament for it, and they're doing it now. They see that the old way is about to fail, it's about to fall, and they are lamenting for it. Already, it is beginning for the Israelite woman. And many in this place who see the fall of this place. It is beginning now. Just wait. All right, just wait. But don't you wait while holding on to this place or to these people. You go and wait from a distance and watch. Depart from them and watch the destruction from afar. All right. The merchants of these things, which were made rich by her, shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing. Everybody that benefited from her, from this system, from this place, everybody who got rich, who got a leg up, who was lifted up, who was elevated. All right. They shall be weeping and wailing and saying, alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. For in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught. And every shipmaster and all the company in ships and sailors and as many as trade by sea stood afar off and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? And they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, alas, alas, that great city, wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea, by reason of her costliness. For in 1 hour she is made desolate. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for the Most High hath avenged you on her. Unfortunately, again, I say unfortunately because it's unfortunate that this is the case, that among the many enemies of Israel, of the prophets, of the apostles, of the men of the Most High, our women are chief among them. Chief among them. That's a sad state of affairs, right? But it's the case. All right. And the Most High is avenging us. He's beginning to avenge us. He said he would bring our enemies low. The election results and everything to follow is part of him bringing our enemies low. He started, remember, he always starts with his own house first. So he's bringing his daughters down first because they are our biggest enemies right now. And the mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. And the voice of harpers and musicians, and of pipers and trumpeters shall be heard no more at all in thee. And no craftsman, or whatsoever craft he be, of whatsoever craft he be, shall be found any more in thee. And the sound of a millstone shall be heard no more at all in thee. And the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee. And the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee, because he's going to take out the elect from this society. He's going to remove his people, and they are not going to see us or hear from us anymore. We are going to be separated from this place. For thy merchants were the great men of the earth, for by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. And ironically, or not so ironically, we know that many Black women are engaged in sorceries and witchcraft of many different varieties, from voodoo to spell casting to uh, makeup witchcraft, and all of these different things, right, that they are involved in, because they learn from this nation. They learn from these people. They are an extension of this nation, right? They worship the same gods. They are under the power of these same gods, taking their marching order from the same gods of the Babylonians. So they shall, and they are beginning to be partakers of her sins. All right, for by thy sorceries were all nations deceived, and in her was found the blood of prophets and of saints and of all that were slain upon the earth. So keep in mind, this is what's coming to Babylon. You can't stop it. No one can stop it. Get out of the way of the Most High. Let him do his thing, and you depart from these people, from this place, in participation of its ways. I'm not saying try to leave this place, because there's nowhere you can go where you're going to be safe, because wherever you go, there you are. You can't escape the spiritual the principalities that are in this entire world. They're everywhere. You can't go anywhere and they aren't there. And if you aren't right with the Most High, it doesn't matter where you go. You will be visited there. All right. So now let's shift from that to lightening the mood. When you depart from Babylon and you seek the Most High and his righteousness, this is what's coming. This is what he has in store for you, Israel, and for you Gentiles that depart and cleave to Israel. I know many Israelites hate to hear that there are going to be Gentiles that are going to depart from this place. They really hate this place and they love us. There are Gentiles that love us more than many of us love us. Let's be real. Let's not be too stupid to know that. There are many Gentiles out there that love Israel far more than many of Israel even love Israel. And the Most High is not unrighteous that he's going to punish them for their love for his people. No matter how much you want them to be punished, he sees them. He knows their hearts. He knows that they love his people and they've only ever done good to his people. He is not going to destroy them or punish them just because you have a problem with them as a nation, not them as individuals, but with them as a nation. He is not unrighteous. Now, they don't get to enjoy the blessings of being the children of the kingdom, but there are levels even to servitude. Yes, they're going to be servants, but there are levels to servitude. All right, just like I use this analogy all the time. When we went through slavery, there was the field Negro and there was the house Negro. There was a difference from this plantation to that plantation. Not every slave master was exactly the same. The Most High can put you in the circumstances that he sees fit for you based off of what you deserve. He knows what everyone deserves. But okay, I went into that long enough, but that was through the Spirit, man. Somebody of Israel needed to hear that, because whenever you start speaking about the Gentiles cleaving to Israel, they get uneasy. Keep silence before me, O islands, and let the people renew their strength. Let them come near, then let them speak. Let us come near together to judgment. All right. So this is what we need to do. All right. Keep silence before him. All right. He told us that we're going to renew our strength. We have to come near unto him and then speak. Let them come near, then let them speak. So we have to seek him out first. We have to come near to him. And after we come near to him, he starts working on us. Then he starts working through us and he causes us to speak. All right. So I want to skip down to verse 8. But thou, Israel, art my servant, Jacob, whom I have chosen, the seed of Abraham, my friend. He's chosen Israel. And again, because so that we can dispel any notion that the Christians might be thinking in their heads right now. See, yeah, but I'm spiritual Israel because I believe in Jesus. I'm a seed of Abraham. No, you can't become a converted seed, man. Seed means offspring, right? Seed as in sperm, man. Sperm. That's what seed means. You can't be a converted sperm. You can't be a converted seed. You either are the seed of a person or you are not of the seed. All right. But yeah, but the adoption pertains to Israel. But even if it did pertain to you, it's this here is talking about the seed. It's not talking about adoption. It is talking about the seed. That's why it is very clear to state the seed of Abraham, my friend, not the believer in Abraham, not the adopted into Abraham's family, the seed of. All right, but let's continue. Thou whom I have taken from the ends of the earth and called thee from the chief men thereof and said unto thee, thou art my servant. I have chosen thee and not cast thee away, because the Christians have a doctrine that says the Israelites are cast away and that they are adopted in and they are grafted in and they get to replace the Israelites. He says, thou art my servant. I have chosen thee and not cast thee away. Fear thou not. This is the important part that I wanted to get to, because after we went through everything that's coming upon Babylon, this is what he wants us to know, because he always pronounces judgment. He always lets us know about destruction to come, but then he turns around and he comforts us. He lets us know, fear thou not, for I am with thee. When you depart from Babylon, when you separate yourself from Babylon, he's with you, which means you have no cause for fear. So be not dismayed, for I am thy power. I will strengthen thee. Yea, I will help thee. Yea, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness. This is his promise. When you depart from Babylon, when you depart from the ways of this place, when you seek him, when you thirst after his righteousness, when you are a diligent seeker of his truth, when you abide with wisdom, when you love him, when you love his people. Behold, all they that were incensed against thee shall be ashamed and confounded. Like we said before, there's going to be many Israelite women who's going to be included in this. There's going to be many Israelite men included in this as well. All right. Many of our own nation are going to be ashamed and confounded because they are incensed against us. But this is primarily talking about the other nations. All right. They shall be as nothing, and they that strive with thee shall perish, whether they be of Israel or of the heathen. They are going to perish if they strive with you. So all of these women online talking about they hope that the police kill black men like crazy, right? Hoping for brothers to get locked up and to be killed and to die, and you know what I'm saying? All the harm that they're wishing on brothers. all the hatred that they're spitting out towards brothers, they're going to be confounded. They're going to be ashamed. They're going to be made as nothing. They shall perish. Thou shalt seek them and shalt not find them, even them that contended with thee. They that war against thee shall be as nothing and as a thing of naught. And many of our women are warring with us right now. For I, Yahawah thy God, will uphold thy right hand, saying unto thee, fear not, I will help thee. Fear not, thou worm Jacob, and ye men of Israel. I will help thee, saith Yahawah, and thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. Behold, I will make thee a new sharp threshing instrument having teeth. So don't be scared about these people mobilizing against you, brothers. Sisters, don't you be worried, because the men are going to be made a new sharp threshing instrument having teeth. Stick close to the men of the Most High. Love us and stick close to us. You'll be all right. Thou shalt thresh the mountains and beat them small, and shall make the hills as chaff. Because you righteous sisters that love us, we're going to protect you. We're going to take care of you. Don't you even worry. But you know what you have to do? You have to separate from these other women. You can't be hand in hand with them, or you will be seen as the enemies that they are. You have to depart from all wickedness. Doesn't matter what form it comes in. All right? Don't be found hand in hand with them who you know hate Israelite men. You know, if they hate Israelite men, they are of Satan and they are doomed for destruction. Any woman that you see that hates an Israelite man, she is being set up for destruction by the Almighty. You know them by their fruits. All right? Thou shalt fan them, and the wind shall carry them away, and the whirlwind shall scatter them. And thou shalt rejoice in Yahawah, and shalt glory in the Holy One of Israel. Because when he does these things to our enemies, we're going to rejoice. We are going to be happy. And we shall glory in the Holy One of Israel, who's going to do all these things for his people. When the poor and the needy seek water, there is none, and their tongue faileth for thirst. I, Yahawah, will hear them. I, the God of Israel, will not forsake them. So keep that in mind, because some of us are going to be redeemed out of the earth prior to the hour of temptation, and the rest will have to come through the tribulation and be saved out of it. His promise is that when you're going through it, when the tough times come, he says, I will hear them. How will he hear them? Because they're going to be crying out. So you got to be crying out. You got to be praying. You got to be crying out against this place. You got to be praying against this place. And he'll hear you. He promises that he will not forsake you. Trust in his promise. Come down to verse 27. The first shall say to Zion, behold, behold them, and I will give to Jerusalem one that bringeth good tidings. Because Christ Yahawashi, he came to bring good news to Israel, good news of our salvation, of our reconciliation to our Father, of our healing, of our restoration. That's the good news that he brought to us. And he sent his men out to spread the good news to the rest of you. Let's go to Isaiah 42, verse 14. I have long time holding my peace. I have been still and refrained myself. And this is what the Most High has done. He is holding his peace for so long that many think that he doesn't even exist. They think that, or they thought, or they can still think that he will continue to refrain himself, that he's going to continue to be still, that he doesn't care about us, so he's not going to fight for us, having no idea that it was just a matter of time, that he was being still and refraining himself for a time, and that when that time ended, to be on the wrong side of him and his people would put you in grave danger. He says, now will I cry like a travailing woman. I will destroy and devour at once. I will make waste mountains and hills and dry up all their herbs. He's talking about people, mountains and hills, great nations, small nations. All right. And dry up all their herbs, and I will make the rivers islands, and I will dry up the pools, and I will bring the blind by a way that they knew not. I will lead them in paths that they have not known, because many of our people are blind and are still blind and will remain blind until he does this thing that he says he's going to do. He says, I will bring the blind by a way that they knew not. So to all the Israelites who are saying that if you are not in this truth, that you are doomed, no, that's not true. It just hasn't been their season, their time to be awakened yet. They are meant to remain blind until the time appointed, because they have to still be blind. Remember, in order for him to do this, these people have to still be blind. These are not the people who are awakened. These are the people that are still asleep when he comes, right? And I will bring the blind by a way that they knew not. I will lead them in paths that they have not known. I will make darkness light before them, and crooked things straight. These things will I do unto them, and not forsake them. And he's doing that now. Us as a nation, as people, we have been blind for a long time. And now he's beginning to bring us by a way that we knew not. He is leading us in paths that we have not known. He has made darkness light before us, and crooked things straight. And he has said unto us that he will not forsake us. And there are still some of us who are still blind. They have not awakened yet, and he's still going to fulfill this promise to them. It is just not their turn yet. So be careful about who you move your tongue against, because many wicked men in Israel are teaching people to speak evil against those of our people who are still blind, who still are unable to see and unable to understand, because they think that because those people are blind and unable to understand, that means that they are forsaken of the Most High. That's not what it means. It could be, but not necessarily. It could just be that it has not been their time yet for him to visit them and bring them out of the darkness. All right? And so this lesson might be what does it for someone. That's why I always say be a blessing to someone else, because it might be through you that the darkness is made light before them, that the crooked things are made straight. All right? Let's go to Isaiah 43. We are going to start at verse 1. But now, thus saith Yahawah that created thee, O Jacob, and he that formed thee, O Israel, fear not. Fear not, for I have redeemed thee. I have called thee by thy name. Thou art mine. Meaning, we are no longer considered Gentiles. He's calling us by our name. All right? He's calling us Israel again. When thou passest through the waters, I will be with thee, and through the rivers, they shall not overflow thee. When thou walkest through the fire, thou shalt not be burned, neither shall the flame kindle upon thee. This is important to understand. This should comfort you in the times ahead, knowing that despite what you see, you're going to be fine. If you depart from Babylon, come out of her, my people, as you be not partaker of her sins. For I am Yahawah, thy power, the Holy One of Israel, thy Savior. I gave Egypt for thy ransom, Ethiopia and Seba for thee. This is how much he loves you, is that he's going to give other nations for your ransom. Trade their lives for yours. Since thou was precious in my sight, thou hast been honorable, and I have loved thee. Therefore will I give men for thee, and people for thy life. Since thou was precious in my sight, when you depart from these people, from this nation, from this world, and you cleave to him, when you seek him diligently with all your heart, and you keep his commandments, you become precious in his sight. You become honorable, and he loves you. Verse 5 again, fear not. He said it again. This is why I push this, because he's telling us, and he says it so much because he wants us to understand that no matter what is going on in this world, we're going to be okay. We're going to watch the world hit with all sorts of plagues and calamities. All sorts of disasters are coming upon this place and will come. And he wants you to know that you have no cause for fear as long as you love him. Why? I am with thee. I will bring thy seed from the east and gather thee from the west. I will say to the north, give up, and to the south, keep not back. Bring my sons from far and my daughters from the end of the earth, even everyone that is called by my name. For I have created him for my glory. I have formed him. Yea, I have made him. Speaking about Israel, not all the heathens, not all the nations, not whosoever of all the world that believes in Jesus. No, Israel, the seed, the bloodline of Israel, and of Israel, those that love him. All right. Verse 8, bring forth the blind people that have eyes, and the deaf that have ears. Let all the nations be gathered together, and let the people be assembled. Who among them can declare this and show us former things? Let them bring forth their witnesses, that they may be justified. Or let them hear and say, it is truth. Ye, Israel, are my witnesses, saith Yahawah, and my servant, whom I have chosen, that ye may know and believe me, and understand that I am he, that you may know and believe me, and understand that I am he. He wants Israel to know, to believe him, and understand that he is. Before me, there was no God formed, neither shall there be after me. I, even I, am Yahawah, and beside me, there is no Savior. I have declared and have saved, and I have showed when there was no strange God among you. Therefore, ye are my witnesses, saith Yahawah, that I am the Most High. Yea, before the day was, I am he, and there is none that can deliver out of my hand. I will work, and who shall let it? And there is none that can deliver out of his hand, because all these things happening in the earth are in his hand. This should give you comfort, all right? We and everything are in his hands. And if you are pleasing to him, if he loves you, he tells you to fear not, because it's all in his hands. Nothing is going to happen to you that he doesn't want to happen to you. And because he loves you, nothing is going to happen to you. That's why he says, fear not. He's not telling you fear not in vain. He's not telling you fear not, but then there are going to be cause for you to fear. Who do you think he is? Man? Let's come down to verse 21. This people have I formed for myself. Why does he say that? Because other nations were formed, but they weren't formed for him. The other nations were given to other principalities to rule over. But Israel he formed for himself. They shall show forth my praise. That's what we are created for, to bring him praise, honor, and glory, to be his people, to be his tabernacle, to be his temple. All right. Let's go to Isaiah 44, verse 1. Yet now hear, O Jacob, my servant, and Israel, whom I have chosen. Again, he says, I have chosen you. Thus saith Yahawah that made thee and formed thee from the womb, which will help thee. Promises to help you. And what does he say again? He comforts you again, Israel. Fear not. Why does he keep saying this? Because there's going to be many things to fear for, many things to be fearful of. But I don't want you to fear, despite what you see, despite what you hear. I don't want you to fear. What's coming is for your enemies. Get out of the way. Don't stand with them. Back up. Watch me work. And fear not, O Jacob, my servant, and thou, Jeshurun, whom I have chosen. For I will pour water upon him that is thirsty, the Holy Spirit, and floods upon the dry ground. We are the dry ground that he's pouring water upon. We are the thirsty that he is pouring his Holy Spirit upon. I will pour my spirit upon thy seed. See, he's making it clear what that water is that he's talking about. When he says, I will pour water upon him that is thirsty, he comes and clarifies, I will pour my spirit upon thy seed and my blessing upon thy offspring. His spirit and his blessing. The blessing of his spirit. That's the water. And they shall spring up as among the grass and as willows by the water courses. So his people had to become without him, divorced from him, cut off from him, severed from him, dry ground, dry bones. And then he promises restoration. And the restoration is taking place now. All right? So don't let any of these people try to convince you that we can't be the people because, we didn't have the Torah, because this or that and other, when the true Israelites were supposed to lose their way. They were supposed to lose their heritage. They were supposed to forget about themselves and who they were and stop calling themselves Israel. The true Israelites would be the people who stopped calling themselves Israel, and the other nations stopped calling them Israel as well. They discontinued from their heritage. The entire world forgot who they are. They started going by other names. This is what the Bible tells you was going to happen to true Israel. One shall say, I am Yahawah's, and another shall call himself by the name of Jacob. And another shall subscribe with his hand unto Yahawah and surname himself by the name of Israel. This is what's happening with us right now, this phenomenon that the entire world is watching, that they're calling cult activity. They're watching the mighty move of the Most High, the fulfillment of his word, him keeping his promise, his word being true. Verse 6, thus saith Yahawah, the King of Israel, and his Redeemer, the Lord of hosts, I am the first, and I am the last, and beside me there is no God. And who, as I, shall call and shall declare it, and set it in order for me, since I appointed the ancient people, and the things that are coming and shall come, let them show unto them. Fear ye not. There he goes again. Neither be afraid. Are you getting the message? Have not I told thee from that time and have declared it? Ye are even my witnesses. Is there a God beside me? Yea, there is no God. I know not any. This should comfort you. This should give you strength in the times to come. He's confirming the feeble knees, right? He's strengthening the feeble knees, I should say. He is strengthening the feeble knees of his people. All right, Isaiah 49, verse 3. And said unto me, thou art my servant, O Israel, in whom I will be glorified. The Most High tells us that he's going to be glorified in Israel. He's going to give his spirit to these people. And so these people are going to become extensions of him on the earth, and that the other nations are going to interact with him through them, us. That's how the other nations will experience God, the Most High, by us, through us. You are created for a great and holy purpose. There is no greater honor among men. All right. Verse 4, then I said, I have labored in vain. I have spent my strength for naught and in vain. Yet surely my judgment is with Yahawah, and my work with my power. And now, saith Yahawah, that formed me from the womb to be his servant, to bring Jacob again to him. To bring who to him? Jacob. That's what it's all about. It's all about Israel. To bring Jacob again to him. And right? And then secondarily, it's about the other nations. It's all about Jacob. It's all about Israel. And then through Israel, once Israel is restored and set up, the other nations will come to the Most High through Israel. That's how the other nations make it into the kingdom. They got to come through Israel, and they have to go through great tribulations the way Israel did. We had to go through slavery. You other nations, you have to go through slavery. We had to go through great turmoil and tribulation, as the scriptures say. We must through great tribulation enter into the kingdom. All right. And that's what the 1,000-year reign of Yahawashi is about. It is about the other nations experiencing their time of great tribulation before the kingdom after the 1,000-year reign. And it's about the time of the Israelites getting their rest from their tribulation. Right? Though Israel be not gathered, yet shall I be glorious in the eyes of Yahawah, and my God shall be my strength. Our God is our strength. Don't ever forget it. When the world gets scary, when things start happening, you are not going to be in control. You are not going to be able to save yourself. Turn to your God. Pray, cry out, beg and plead, and he'll hear you if you love him. And if you've been seeking righteousness and his kingdom. All right. Let's go to Isaiah 51. Israel exhorted, hearken to me. I mean, listen to me, ye that follow after righteousness. See, I told you that's who he's speaking to. That's who he's telling to fear not. Those who are seeking after righteousness, those who follow after righteousness. This is for you. Ye that seek Yahawah, you are seeking him. This is for you. Look unto the rock whence ye are hewn, and to the hole of the pit whence ye are digged. Look unto Abraham, your father, and unto Sarah that bare you. So again, this can't be talking about some spiritual convert, some religious convert. This is about a bloodline. All right? These are about the people who are literally the descendants of Abraham and Sarah. He says, for I called him alone and blessed him and increased him. For Yahawah shall comfort Zion. That's why he keeps telling you, fear not, be not afraid. He will comfort all her waste places, and he will make her wilderness like Eden, and her desert like the garden of Yahawah. Joy and gladness shall be found therein, thanksgiving and the voice of melody. Hearken unto me, my people, and give ear unto me, O my nation. See, he's not addressing the entire earth, not all the peoples of the earth. He's addressing Israel only. For a law shall proceed from me, and I will make my judgment to rest for a light of the people. My righteousness is near, my salvation is gone forth, and mine arms shall judge the people. The isles shall wait upon me, and on mine arm shall they trust. Lift up your eyes to the heavens, and look upon the earth beneath. For the heavens shall vanish away like smoke, and the earth shall wax old like a garment, and they that dwell therein shall die in like manner. But my salvation shall be forever, and my righteousness shall not be abolished. Hearken unto me. He keeps telling you, listen unto me, ye that know righteousness. He's keep talking and being specific about who he wants to listen to, who he is calling to listen to him and hear his words. Hearken unto me, ye that know righteousness, the people in whose heart is my law. Fear ye not the reproach of men, neither be afraid of their revilings, the people in whose heart is my law. See, many Israelites believe that we are not under the new covenant because he said that he was going to put his put his law in our inward parts. He was going to put his heart in our law. I mean, our heart in our law. He was going to put his law in our heart. Got a little dyslexic in my brain there for a second, right? He's going to put his law in our hearts. And so in this time in which he's speaking, he's talking about us like in the time right now. He is already putting his law in our hearts. We just have not come to the fulfillment where everyone that's going to be awakened is being awakened. Everyone who is going to be in the new covenant has come to it, right? So we have not come into the bond of the new covenant yet, but the new covenant is in fact in play. It's in play. And in true form, like a husbandman, he's taught us about first fruits and everything else to let us know everyone doesn't ripen at the same time. Everyone doesn't come to the truth at the same time. Everyone doesn't come into the new covenant at the same time. But it doesn't mean that the new covenant is not in effect just because we are not all ripened at the same time, just because we are not all awakened at the same time, just because we are not in the bond of the covenant yet, doesn't mean the new covenant is not in play. All right? He says, fear ye not the reproach of men, neither be ye afraid of their revilings. They're going to hate us. They're going to say all manner of evil and wickedness against us. But he's going to avenge us, he says. And unfortunately for a lot of sisters, we will be avenged of you too. The things that you say, all of your revilings, all of your hatred, all of your reproach that we have to suffer, we will be avenged to your shame and destruction. And to a lot of you brothers, we have to suffer your revilings and reproach. We'll be avenged of you also. You heathens, we will be avenged of you. All of you together. You're all going to fall. He says, for the moth shall eat them up like a garment, bit by bit, a little bit at a time. This is what's happening to them. They're being eaten up like a garment. And the worm shall eat them like wool. But my righteousness shall be forever, and my salvation from generation to generation. Awake, awake, put on strength, O arm of Yahawah. Awake, as in the ancient days, in the generations of old. Art thou not it that hath cut Rahab, and wounded the dragon? Art thou not it which hath dried the sea, the waters of the great deep, and has made the depths of the sea a way for the ransomed to pass over? Therefore the redeemed of Yahawah shall return and come with singing unto Zion, and everlasting joy shall be upon their head, and they shall obtain gladness and joy, and sorrow and mourning shall flee away. I, even I, am he that comforteth you. It's not me, family. It is the highest. Through his spirit that is in me, him doing the works. I'm just a vessel. It is he that comforteth you. Who art thou, that thou shouldest be afraid of a man that shall die, and of the Son of Man, which shall be made as grass, and forgettest Yahawah thy Maker, that has stretched forth the heavens, and laid the foundations of the earth, and has feared continually every day because of the fury of the oppressor, as if he were ready to destroy. And where is the fury of the oppressor? The captive exile hasteneth that he may be loosed, and that he should not die in the pit, nor that his bread should fail. But I am Yahawah thy God, that divided the sea, whose waves roared. Yahawah of hosts is his name. And I have put my words in thy mouth, and I have covered thee in the shadow of my hand. Listen to this. See, these words are not my own, but his that sent me. He has put his words in my mouth, and I have covered thee. Where? In the shadow of my hand. Right? His hand is Yahawashi, Christ. He has covered us in the shadow of Christ, of Hamashiach, Yahawashi, that I may plant the heavens and lay the foundations of the earth, and say unto Zion, thou art my people. Awake, awake, stand up, O Jerusalem, which has drunk at the hand of Yahawah the cup of his fury. Thou hast drunken the dregs of the cup of trembling, and wrung them out. We drunk every last bit of the cup. There is none to guide her among all the sons whom she hath brought forth, neither is there any that taketh her by the hand of all the sons that she hath brought up. These two things are come unto thee. Who shall be sorry for thee? Desolation and destruction, and the famine and the sword. By whom shall I comfort thee? Thy sons have fainted. They lie at the head of all the streets, as a wild bull in a net. They are full of the fury of Yahawah, the rebuke of thy God. For a long time, the heads of the streets, aka the corners, have been the popular hangout for the Negro male. And out there on the streets, out there on those corners, we have been like wild bulls in a net. We were full of the fury of Yahawah, the rebuke of our power. Therefore, hear now this, thou afflicted and drunken, but not with wine. Thus saith thy master, Yahawah, and thy power that pleadeth the cause of his people. Behold, I have taken out of thine hand the cup of trembling, even the dregs of the cup of my fury. Thou shalt no more drink it again. You hear that? He has taken out of our hand the cup of trembling, even the dregs of the cup of his fury, and we shall no more drink it again. We'll never fall again. He's never going to put us through what we went through ever again. But what is he going to do? He's taking the cup out of our hand, and then what is he going to do? But I will put it in the hand of them that afflict thee. It's going into the other nations. It's about to be their turn. That's the 1,000-year reign of Yahawashi. It is their turn to drink the cup. He's taking it out of our hands, and he's going to bring us into his rest. And he's going to give them the cup to drink for 1,000 years. I will put it in the hand of them that afflict thee, which have said to thy soul, bow down that we may go over. And thou hast laid thy body as the ground and as the street to them that went over. It's the other nation's turn. It's coming. They see their fall coming. That's why they're freaking out. See? And again, and in the same way, because our women have tied themselves to the fate of Babylon, as Babylon is fallen, so are many of our women fallen, and they can see it, they can sense it, they can feel it, and they are terrified. All right? Isaiah 52, verse 1. Awake, awake, put on thy strength, O Zion. That's our power. Come, run to your power is what it's saying. Run to Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahawashi. Read, study the scriptures. Put on the Holy Spirit like a garment. Put on thy strength. All right? Put on thy beautiful garments, O Jerusalem, the holy city. For henceforth there shall no more come into thee the uncircumcised and the unclean. Shake thyself from the dust. That means from your lowest state. We're being lifted up from our lowest state, from being at the bottom. Arise and sit down, O Jerusalem. Loose thyself from the bands of thy neck, O captive daughter of Zion. For thus saith Yahawah, ye have sold yourselves for naught. Ye shall be redeemed without money, because Christ, we were redeemed by his blood. That's why no one has ever been able to get us out of slavery, out of captivity. Nobody has ever been able to raise us up, to lift us up, or to improve our conditions. They weren't able to get us out of the hands of our enemies. They weren't able to build successful towns and cities and communities that were able to stand. They weren't able to, get us rights and to be treated humanely, because that's not how it's supposed to happen for us. For thus saith Yahawah, my people went down aforetime into bondage, into Egypt, to sojourn there, and the Assyrian oppressed them without cause. Now, therefore, what have I here, saith Yahawah, that my people is taken away for naught? They that rule over them make them to howl, saith Yahawah, and my name continually, every day, is blasphemed. Is being lied on, because there's a group of people calling themselves his people that aren't his people. They are blaspheming his name continually, every day. Therefore, my people shall know my name. Therefore, they shall know in that day that I am he that doth speak. Behold, it is I. How beautiful upon the mountains are the feet of him that bringeth good tidings. How beautiful upon the mountains. That's the elect of Israel. How beautiful upon the mountains are the feet of him that bringeth good tidings, that publisheth peace, that bringeth good tidings of good, that publisheth salvation, that saith unto Zion, thy God reigneth. This was Yahawashi. This was Christ that this was talking about. He came to Judah. He came to Zion and brought good news. He published peace. He published salvation. He said unto us, thy God, thy power reigneth. Thy watchmen shall lift up the voice. That's what I'm doing. That's what we're doing out here. With the voice together shall they sing, for they shall see eye to eye when Yahawah shall bring again Zion. Break forth into joy. Sing together, ye waste places of Jerusalem, for Yahawah hath comforted his people. He hath redeemed Jerusalem. All right, it's time to break forth into joy, you guys. It's time to sing together. We are the waste places of Jerusalem. Yahawah is comforting his people. He's redeeming us. We have not reached the fulfillment of all these things, but it is happening in measure. So don't wait for the fulfillment of all things, the conclusion of all these things, to rejoice. Start to rejoice now. Give him thanks now. Give all praise, honor, and glory to him now. All right. He says, Yahawah that made bare his holy arm in the eyes of all the nations, and all the ends of the earth shall see the salvation of our power. Depart ye, go ye out from thence. Touch no unclean thing. Go ye out of the midst of her. Her who? Babylon. Depart ye, separate ye from thence. Touch no unclean thing. All right. These people who are not of the Most High, who are not seeking him, who do not love him, that hate him, that hate his men, that hate his people, they are the unclean thing. Go ye out of the midst of her. Be ye clean. Because when you stick to these people, it makes you filthy. Be ye clean that bear the vessels of Yahawah. For ye shall not go out with haste, nor go by flight. For Yahawah will go before you, and the power of Israel will be your reward. All right? So we are going to end this here. I pray that you guys are all edified, that you are all encouraged, and that you benefit positively from this video, from this lesson, from the time we spent here together, from the communion of the Holy Spirit that we've experienced throughout the course of this lesson. Did you feel it? Did you sense the Spirit with you? Did you pray and ask for wisdom? If not, go back to the drawing board. Close your eyes. Pray earnestly for the Holy Spirit to be increased in knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And then watch the video again. And then when you're done, give all praise, honor, and glory to the heavenly highest. Thank him. And then continue to thank him every day. Every chance throughout the day that you think of him, that it comes to mind. Do it. You can't thank him enough. You can't praise him enough. Do it. All right? And while you're doing it, be a blessing to someone else and pass them this message. All right? Y'all know the saying, each one, reach one. Shalom.